Hey everyone! So in this tutorial we're going to go through the planning and what sort of materials you're going to need to make your own do-it-yourself cat enclosure on a budget. I'll talk about where to get the items, what items you need, what tools you need, and how to select the best area for your cat enclosure. Any well-executed project starts off with good planning. When I did ours, I looked around in each area of the house at cat level and checked each window with the idea of putting a cat flap in any of them. Don't rule out anything at the start. It can be something like ours, which is access from the bathroom. Your windowsill will become scratched. This is unavoidable. If it worries you or you are in a rental property, one idea is to put a clear plastic cover over it. In our case, the cat is unable to go in and out while we're using the shower, for instance. Keep that in mind and think about ways that the cat will climb up and down, both on the inside and the outside. In summer, if you want your air conditioning on, but the cat wants to go outside, he'll bug you to be let out. There are a couple of ways around this. You could put another cat flap in the actual doorway to the bathroom so you can shut the door. The other way is to put a heavy curtain up in the doorway of the bathroom. So it allows the cat to go through and it will just flap back down again without letting all the hot air in. And of course this applies if you are heating your house, the same principle. Make sure you set up the enclosure so it can be entered by tradesmen if it has things in it like your home's electrical switchboard or hot water system, for example. Try and use existing boundaries such as fences and walls to save you on construction difficulties and also cost. If you are living in a rental property, remember to check and clear this with the owners first. You don't want to end up having to pay to put it all back the way it was, so be sure to check that before you go any further. We bought the 1.8 metre by 50 metre chicken wire, which was around $90 3 years ago. That same roll is about $135 now. We ended up using 26 square metres for ours, which works out to about $40. When you're looking at buying corrugated conduit, the smallest you can get, it seems to be 10 metres. We only needed less than 1 metre, so if you can find some offcuts maybe from a friend or an electrician who you know, that would be a good option. When you're looking to buy screws, go for the galvanised ones because they're going to last a lot longer outside than just plain steel screws. If you're connecting your cat enclosure to brick, you'll need some wall plugs and a hammer drill and also a drill bit to match the wall plugs, usually slightly smaller. Also grab yourself a hammer and a Phillips screwdriver and you'll be good to go. We use 3 of these hinges to attach the gate to the fence. The latch that I used for the door into the cat enclosure was actually a latch from another gate. that was left over, so I was able to reuse that. Cable ties, I had a couple of these left over from another project, so again, small savings, but they all add up. Optionally, you can get some PVC glue, and it will make your conduit connections permanent, but if you ever want to change it, it will make it difficult to reuse the existing elbow or T-pieces again. Having said that, you can get it apart if you apply enough heat, but it is very difficult not to deform the plastic. I'm assuming most people would have basic tools, but there are a couple of specialised tools that may be helpful. An optional tool you could buy is the staple gun. I use the air staple gun for stapling the chicken wire to the fence and also to the door, which makes this really easy and fast, but the cost is a lot higher, as you also need an air compressor to run it. A cheaper option is the manual staple gun, which is about $17. As a last resort, you could just use small nails and a hammer to hold the chicken wire in place. The prices shown are a rough guide as of May 2014 and are not what we actually paid. We actually bought all our gear about 3 years ago. What I'm showing here is just to give you a rough idea of what you're looking at in the raw materials. The chicken wire in Australia was $135 for 50 metres, but we use nowhere near that amount. So I wanted to break the prices down a bit to show what we actually used, rather than what we had to buy to get the materials in their minimum quantities. You might find that you could get 20 metres of chicken wire for around $40. I worked out the average price of chicken wire around where we live is around $1.50 per square metre. So that's what I've based the figure on. For the corrugated conduit, I actually happened to have some offcuts already, so I didn't have to go and buy a roll of it. I also had a box of half saddles and wall plugs, metal screws and tie wire. So you might find you've got a lot of things already lying around that you can use from other projects. Optionally, you could also get some paint to put on the door you build for entry into the cat enclosure. The UV-proof external paint can be quite expensive though, but if you have any left over from another project, it can be a big saving if you can use that. So I really hope this helped you to work out what is involved in making your own DIY cat enclosure on a budget. We went through where to get the items, what items to get, and some ideas on reusing old items, what tools you may need, and how to select the best place to put your cat enclosure. If you want to see more, please subscribe, favourite, like and comment, and I'll go through some of the tips and tricks we discovered when we built this cat enclosure in future tutorials.